And my mother is a very compassionate woman. She always thinks about how other people are thinking. And I got that from her. Thank God I did.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but think, how's he going to feel if he comes here? Nobody's going to sit with him. Nobody's going to love him, and certainly not going to embrace him. And the legalistic tendencies of Temple would have been more likely to say, what's he doing here?
Yeah.
He's what's wrong with the world.
Yeah.
How dare he come to church with a hat on, without his Sunday best on, and if he smells like alcohol. I mean, those tendencies were there.
And
you don't change that culture overnight.
All that hit you in that moment was like a defining crossroads for you, which I know everything didn't just start there, but something clicked for you.
Absolutely, it clicked. Yeah, and that was the beginning of my search for a recovery program, a recovery ministry to come, so that I could at least take someone like that gentleman and point them to resources that he can go and find some help. That was the beginning of it.
12 years ago?
That was the very beginning of it was probably 16 years ago.
That started the process.
Started the process of me praying and seeking, and there was so much happening at Temple at that point. That was one of many priorities. Mm-hmm. And as I began to dive into my search for a recovery program, it eventually led to our story, which would come a few years later.
Yeah, so
probably 12. That would have been 12 or 13 years ago, but that would have been 3 or 4 years after that original conversation with that man.
So I don't think we've ever had this conversation, and I'm asking you to kind of recall things that happened we're getting old, Rodney, a long time ago. But
we are.
Can you speak to like some of the fears maybe, or some of the like wrestling you did, where I would think as a pastor in that moment, you're like, I have the gospel of Jesus Christ and I can't help this guy. Was that a tough thing to wrap your head around? Like, I don't feel like I have the tools. I love the way you're describing it. It's like, even if I chased him down and gave him some new scriptures or whatever, like it just that wasn't enough. Did that rattle you pretty good?
Well, yeah, it certainly did rattle me, because I'm still fighting the legalistic tendencies that I had been trained in. So the idea that salvation wasn't enough, that was something that I wasn't willing to vocalize at that point.
How could you talk to anybody about something like that?
We know Christ is enough. Right. We understand that. But the idea that the Romans Road and the man just received Christ, and I pray to God that he did.
Yeah.
I've never seen him since. Hopefully in heaven I'll see him again. Maybe it did stick. But the idea of the gospel not being enough and giving him that old King James Bible wasn't enough.
Right.
The idea of all of that just didn't set well because of my training and my experience, because I'm still learning the way of freedom. I'm still learning the way of liberty and all of that. So yeah, it was an internal battle too. But again, my reference point in life then and now is reading of the Word of God. And I came to the conclusion that it was okay to feel the way that I was feeling, that this guy needed more. Yeah. Because in my reading of the Bible, it all goes back to that.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
In my reading of the Bible, I realized that it was okay to feel that way.
Yeah.
That there are so many recovery principles in the Bible. There are so many specific, practical, relevant things that could have been touched on and could have been given to him that I wasn't prepared to give. Because as much as I love recovery, you know this about me. I'm the pastor of a church. My goal in life is to pastor a church, to guard that church, to protect that church. That's the Lord's bride.
Right.
That's my responsibility. Your responsibility in the kingdom work is recovery. Mm-hmm. So although we didn't know each other at that point, I'm like, I got to find a guy that God has called into this area of ministry where I could have taken this person and connected those two, and he could have gotten what he needed. Yeah. I want him, I want this guy at church on Sunday morning,
right?
But now we have recovery ministry on Friday night. I want him in something like that also, right? He should be in both. And that was the beginning of the journey. I think I'm rambling.
No, it's exactly where we want to go, because 10 years ago, and we don't have to get into the details of like how you came to connect with me out at Saddleback Church, connected. eventually hired me 10 years now.
Right.
June, 10 years, it'll be 10 years I've been at Temple City Church. But that evolution, moving towards what I would think, I don't want to put words in your mouth, what you say is probably closer. It is closer to what the gospel actually is. Hey, if you like this clip and you want the full episode, then just hit the link in the description. And thank you again for joining us on Living on Incline.